Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, The Analytical Coding. In today's video, we are going to learn normalization and fact and dimension tables. So let's get started. So, what is normalization? So, it is the process of organizing the tables and columns in a relational database to reduce the redundancy and preserve the data integrity. So, what did you understand from this? So, something displayed on screen and I am reading it, isn't it? So, let us understand clearly what normalization is. So, in the definition, let us consider the important terms. So, here we can see organizing tables, redundancy, data integrity. So, let us first understand this. Okay, let me explain you the day-to-day example. Like, so when we go to shopping in cloth store, we can see women's wear and men's wear and also kids wear that are placed separately, right? So what if all are mixed together? Like, we can see one shelf have saris and shirts and other shelf contain dresses and kids t-shirts. Does it seems to be good if they are combined in one shelf? Do we buy anything from that store? No, right? So keeping things in organized manner helps us to select what we want and what is useful, right? So similarly, in our data, we need to organize the tables so that all the columns that have similar properties are placed in one table and easy to analyze. So let us take an example of data to understand that. So here we are having data for each day, which product is sold and how much quantity and also the product details, right? So each time when a product is sold, all its properties are getting into our table, right? So which is the repetitive ones. So once a product ID is added, it has same properties all the time whenever it is used, right? So why shouldn't we store these similar properties in other table through which we can avoid redundancy? So we will separately store these product specific details in separate table with one unique record for each product ID. So this would transform one table into two tables that serve one purpose. So here you can see that the data displayed in the above table is transformed into two tables where all the product related details are stored in other table and only required columns and also product ID are placed in the below table. So once our table is separated into two tables, so our data must be consistent, unique, and also accurate, which means data should be accurate across the database in whatever tables you use. That is, here in this table, the product ID 869 is there, and for that product ID, we must have a product table. There we should have 869 product ID. So wherever we are seeing the product ID, the product details must be same across the database we use, which means data should be accurate across the database, right? So here you can see that we are having this table which do not have the product details, and the product details are separately stored in the other table, and also the calendar date, that is date related columns, are separately stored in other table, and table must be maintained properly to get accurate values, so which is nothing but the data integrity. So now I think you have clearly understood the terms, right? We have seen that we are having organizing the tables, which we have covered, and also redundancy. We must avoid the redundancy, that is duplicate data, and also data integrity, which means consistent, unique, and also accurate data. So, which is nothing but the normalization. So, why one should do normalization? To eliminate the redundant data and minimize errors and anomalies from data modifications, that is inserting, updating, or deleting the records, and also we can simplify the query for meaningful analysis. So in a simple way, in a normalized database, each table should serve a distinct and specific purpose, that is one and only purpose for each table. Models that are not normalized contain redundant duplicate data. So this may not seem critical now, but minor inefficiencies can become major problems at a scale. So that's our introduction about normalization, and we have a bunch of demos in our upcoming videos to understand in depth about normalization. So let us see what fact table and dimension tables are. Now, fact table. So fact table is a central table that contains quantitative data, and it captures transactional data of interest, and which is usually a largest table in data model. So fact table contains numerical measurements like sales amount, quantity. We have seen in the previous example, right? Quantity. So generally, fact table contains numerical measurements. So that is nothing but quantitative data, and it references the dimension tables. We have seen in the previous example, we have stored product table separately, and these two tables are having the product ID in common. So it references the dimension table in order to get any product information. And granularity. So fact table represents transactional or event level records. That is how much quantity is sold for each product or each sales, each order. So it is event level records. So fact table contains quantitative data. So here you can see that this is an example of fact table, right? The product information is not shown here, only product ID is stored, and which references the dimension table, and from which we can get the product details. Fact tables contains numeric values or metrics which are used for summarization, that is these are the things that you can count. Okay, on the other hand, dimension tables. So, it contains descriptive information that provides context to the facts in the fact table, right? So, it contains descriptive information, that is attributes like name, category, its brand, everything. And it links to the fact table. Again, it provides context to the foreign case in the fact table, which we have discussed now, right? And so each dimension table stores different attributes. So we have seen that product table, which is a dimension table that stores about product, whereas calendar table, which stores information about a date, particular date. Okay, so dimension tables contain descriptive attributes which are used for filtering or grouping. So here we can use them for grouping or filtering purposes, right? So these are fact and dimension tables, and we have seen clearly what normalization is. So let us learn more topics about data modeling in our upcoming videos. So please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.